We sponsor and support children's education projects around the world. In fact, we focus on these smaller scale projects, very much hands-on. So we take a Dutch approach. So despite my accent, I am actually Dutch. We get involved, we coach the projects, we make sure we know exactly where the money's going, we know what we want to do. So we've got 2 projects in India, one in Ghana, one in Tanzania, one in Kenya. In India, you have loads of families and kids going into the slum areas because the parents go there looking for jobs. The kids then basically hang out on the streets. They're rag pickers, they're begging, they're getting up to no good, but they're not in the school systems. Now, schooling in India is actually for free, but you've got to qualify to get in. Problem is, these kids come in from around India. They don't speak the local language, the local dialect, their behavioural skills aren't up to standard, so they can't get into the local school. So we work to bridge them. We put them in this school for a year, perhaps 2, maybe 3, so that they get up to speed on the local language, the education that they've been missing, and they get essentially accelerated into the local schools or even private schools at a later stage. And we have a very high uptake as a result of that, and we've been given a preference. So the kids that come out of our schools get preference then in many other schools. So this is actually taking, each year approximately 100 kids out of slums, out of dangerous environments where they get fed, educated, and then mainstreamed into main schooling. And otherwise they would just be staying in the slums and going nowhere.
I'm Ben Watford. I lead the hedge fund practice here at Eversham Sutherland. We're very happy to host this event. We're very keen to support A4C in their endeavours. So we're very impressed with Alternatives for Children, the high impact work they do with children in developing countries and the results that we're seeing from that.
Alternatives for Children has been a partner to the Alphabet Club. They've been funding us and our partners in the field to create schools for kids that live in slums. So essentially, the program that we have right now is called the Vonisha Bridge School, and we go into slums that are garbage sorting centers, and we identify children that are of the age to go to school, so 6, 8, 10, 12 years old, and they are either playing in the slum or they are working sorting garbage. So Alternatives for Children funds the Alphabet Club for us to start a school, which is a special school. We call it a bridge school because the children that live in the slums, they're migrant children, and they moved to Bangalore, in this case, in India, because their parents could find work there. And these children cannot go to a government school, because if they go to the government school, that school will be in a language that they don't speak. So we go to many slums and we identify around 100 children that are locked out of an education, they're not going to school, and we start a special 1-year bridge school program for those children.
I really liked the way in which the particular form of engagement in which the charity engages with potential recipients of its largesse actually helps them to raise their game, even if those people are simply receiving the money on behalf of others. I also have a great deal of time for any charitable endeavour that is so focused on education itself.
We want to try and replicate the success we've had in the Netherlands. So that centres around 3 areas actually. The first is events, networking events. We want to fill the gap of having successful local small-scale events. It could be a networking drinks, it could be part of a conference, it could be someone in the future maybe wants to organise their own fundraising events. So that's one part. Second part is working with local-based charities here as well. So it could be with education projects either in the UK, or it could be a charity based here but making grants abroad. So we want to focus on impactful projects and know where our money's going, and we also want to measure the outcome and the impact of the project as well. So what would have happened had we not been there, so that we're able to measure exactly the effect and the results of the money that we have given to the project and the outcomes linked to that as well.
I think for me, as the founder of a nonprofit which is running educational infrastructure, school projects in developing countries, I don't know if the people in Alternatives for Children, the ones that attend these network gatherings and these events, or the sponsors that step up to sponsor what it is that A4C is doing, I don't really think that they comprehend the life-changing impact that they are having. It's massive impact, education and nutrition for many, many children in many parts of the world.